Okay, so I'm here today with the LG Legacy Project cast members, and we're working on, today's lesson, we're gonna work on lateral movement and collection and control of these colts. It's the very next step that you need to teach one after you get them accustomed to, when they transition from coming off the racetrack to making a cowboy horse out of them, whether it's a barrel horse or rope horse or whatever. Once they get used to carrying your weight, carrying a saddle, then we start teaching them a little bit of motion, okay? So the most important thing that we need to do with these colts is teach them how to yield, okay? It's a version of lateral motion. In the old days, we used to teach, a horse has to side pass, a horse has to side pass, okay? So basically, the horse needs a side pass a little bit, but what I need control of his shoulder. I need control of his shoulder, I need to keep going forward. We never want to impede our horse's forward motion, okay? We want to keep going forward. So what I'll teach those colts is how to pick up and yield their shoulder off their inside rein while they keep moving forward, okay? So it's really important that we teach them to do this. This horse's name is Indigo, and he's a second career race horse and belongs to the Diamond R Ranch, who's a big supporter of ours. They've been a two-time champion of the LG Legacy Project. This is a homegrown colt of theirs. He's a son of Ivory James, and he's out of a mare named Quick Moonsign. It was a AQHA World Champion racehorse. She won the All-American Derby. She won about 600,000 on the racetrack. So I ran Indigo on the racetrack, and he's AAA, and he won about 25,000. He's a really good racehorse. Okay, so when a horse has been raced and he understands how to race, you'll have a tendency they'll grab the bridle and they'll pull straight forward, okay? So what I want to do is I don't want to take a lot of that away from him, but I want to teach him to yield off his shoulder off of my hands while going forward, okay? So where we want this colt to end up, we're riding him first before we get on your colts because I want to show you where we end up. This is the stage where we want to be, okay? I want to be able to go across the arena in the second barrel if I need to, and if I pick up against his neck, he should yield his shoulder. Notice how he's yielding his shoulder, but he's keeping his hip to the inside. Do you see that? I want control of the shoulder. Same way if I'm going here, if I'm running a straight line and I need him to move over, I want him to move over his shoulder with his hip staying behind him, okay? I don't want him just shimmy sideways and duck in. I need control of the shoulder so I can let him know when I want him to drop and turn. Does that make sense? I'm gonna look straight at the camera so we can see how this goes. If the cameraman is my second barrel and I'm a little bit too close and I want him to be able to move over, I want to be able to yield his shoulder and move him away. Now, do you see where his hip stayed in? His shoulder went sideways, okay? That's going to come from here. My hands are going to stay solid and consistent. I'm going to drive him forward. He understands from being a racehorse that pressure means go forward, and the loose rein means slow down, okay? That's what he knows, instead of the back. A lot of times we get these cow horses that are ridden different. They gallop around a loose rein, then you pick them up and you handle them a little bit, okay? That's not his base knowledge. So we're gonna work with his base knowledge, which is, this means go fast and go forward. This means set up and slow down, okay? But the lesson today is gonna be on shoulder yield. We have to have shoulder yield. So we have control of his forward motion and where he's going. And then we get his turn.